igniting community, a safe space to learn, share, and grow. Don't forget to like and subscribe below.
Welcome back to another episode of Carbs and Mirrors. This is a space where we journey together to discover how to embrace carbs and mirrors again without any shame, blame, guilt, or judgment. In this episode, we will talk about safety. I felt it was important to share a little bit of this mindset work before we dive into any of the nitty-gritties in regards to the health and wellness industry. Last time we shared a little bit of how to create a safe container. And if you've missed it in the first episode, I talked about giving yourself permission and creating a permission slip. So if you haven't done that yet, I would highly recommend that you actually watch that first video before continuing on with this one. So with February being the month of love, for us to fully embody self-love and who we are at the core, it's super important to understand safety with ourselves and with those in our circles. So growing up, I knew at a young age that connections and being connected to other people was super important to me. I definitely fed off of other people's energies. I would say that I am more extroverted than introverted. However, this pandemic, though, is showing me that I might actually have both in equal proportions. But in any case, I do thrive more in the presence of others. And because of this, I have a tendency to trust people sometimes too easily because I want them to like me and bring them into my inner circle before they are deserving to be there. So in my own experiences, when I have let my guard down and shared openly and vulnerably with people that actually weren't quite ready to be in that inner sanctum level, or just even that they haven't quite yet gained the appropriate trust level to be there. And ultimately, it's caused me to get hurt each time. Either because they or myself aren't on the same level of understanding in valuing our connection similarly. And what I kind of mean by that is, for example, if I'm telling this person all these really intimate details about myself, I'm regarding them as somebody in my inner circle. But for them, they actually may be regarding me as maybe a close friend or even just a friend. Um, and so a lot of times when our levels of expectations in that are also off, it actually can cause a level of dissonance, and that ultimately will cause hurt to occur, right? And so I believe that there are three levels of friendship. Um, so the first level on the very inner is what I would call your inner circle layer, right? These are the people that are close to you. They know intimate details about you. Like they're your BFFs, really. And then like the next layer out, and that if we look at concentric circles, the next layer out would be close friends, or people that you see regularly and you interact with them and they know quite a lot of stuff about you, but they may not know the super detailed things about you and that, right? And then ultimately you spread out further, you have the third layer, which is the acquaintances level. And those are people that you bump into ever so often and you say hey and you know each other and that kind of level. Often, the biggest level of disappointment is when we think the person is either a close friend or maybe even you're thinking of them as your inner circle friend, but the other person actually views you as an acquaintance. That's when a lot of times there's these painful, heartbreaking feelings in that, because that dissonance in understanding of where we are in each other's worlds, right? And so For you and for me to protect ourselves out of self-love, it's super important to be aware of where people land. So I found this simple and brilliant exercise that I want to take you through that I think we should all do at least once a year, even just as a filtering session to make sure as a year has gone by, sometimes friendships change and different things are happening. And so it's a really great exercise to do at least once a year. And it's actually called The Safety Plan. And it's by Julia Cameron. And it's found in a book called The Artist's Way. So a lot of times you'll hear me reference a bunch of books in my videos. Um, yeah, I'm a huge book nerd and I love reading. Um, and so you'll hear me talk about different books, and I hope you'll find them helpful as I have been finding them helpful. And so I think that's part of the sharing of this journey. And so this book is actually an older book. It's been around for, oh, at least over 25 years. Um, and if you have ever been made to feel that being an artist is either wrong or that you can't make it a career or just there's lots of limiting beliefs that from our either family of origin or our cultures that will shine different lights on being an artist. This is a great book. Also, if maybe you're a closet artist and you love like photography or painting or whatever it is in that, but have been shy to even let others know that that's what you do, I highly, highly recommend that you read this book and that it is transformational. It was probably one of my most transformational books last year in 2021. And yeah, I can't rave enough about it. And so, anyways, if you haven't read it and you feel like you are a creative person, definitely get this book. So, anyways, and there's no affiliation. I'm not making any money from that. So just want you to know that it's just a book that I've really appreciated in my journey of self-growth. And so in this exercise that Julia Cameron shares in her book, I actually want you to grab a piece of paper and a pen. And so again, if you don't have that or there's not one close by, feel free to pause the video and go grab that right now. Okay, and so what I want you to do is on this piece of blank paper is to draw a circle in the middle of the page. So I did one right here. I'm going to show you. So you're going to draw this little inner circle here, okay? And then what I want you to do is you'll notice that, let's see if you can see it. Maybe it's better on this side. And what I want you to do is you'll see that I've already kind of jotted down a few topics in that are most important and vulnerable to you. So these can be things such as your partner, your children, your finances, your job, career, even like your deepest goals and dreams and what's your purpose and calling. Pretty much anything that is really vulnerable to you and intimate. I want you to just kind of just write it out around in this little circle here. Then next what you're going to do is draw the bigger circle, as you can see I've put on there. And so that is going to be, so what this is this is your inner circle, and then this is where your close friends are going to be, and then everybody else on the outside are your acquaintances. Okay? So, super simple. And so what I want you to do is start to think of the names of people in your life that are safe that you would place in this inner circle. Now, these can be family members, they can be friends, but it has to be somebody that you trust completely and implicitly with your life. With these highly important things that you share, and that with them, that's who you're going to put into that inner circle. And then what you would do is then you would go out to the next circle, which are your close friends or friends and that. And those would be people that you would share some things with, but maybe not to the level of, like, sharing how much money you make or whether you're struggling financially or that you have debt or different things like that. They would go into that second circle area, which was known as your friends. And then you would then start to then place anybody else that is beyond that as acquaintances. So now once you have completed that, this is your safety map, right? It's such a cool thought in that. And so now you have this diagram, this map that lets you know who is safe to share your darkest and most intimate thoughts with. And it also lets you know who isn't safe. And when you're sharing stuff in that, then maybe you shouldn't be oversharing and telling them all the things in that, because they actually don't have you regarded as the same, right? And so ultimately you want to, the people that you have in your inner circle, they also have you in their inner circle, and you equally share those intimate things with each other. And you'll probably find that this circle is super tiny. Like there may be, I don't know, 2, 3 people, maybe even just one person in that. I found for myself when I did this exercise for it to be extremely eye-opening on how I was sometimes oversharing my private and personal things with people who just don't deserve to know these things about me. And it also showed me where I was actually leaking energy out to people that shouldn't be getting my very, very best version of me and knowing all those things about me. And ultimately, it just created it actually helped me create better boundaries with people and that. And so having this map and that allowed me to no longer have delusional expectations of certain people because we weren't as close as I thought we were and that. And so I just want you to, in the spirit of loving yourself and valuing who you surround yourself with, to see it, to be aware of the people that you should have in your trust circles and the people that you shouldn't have in your trust circles and that. And so I hope this exercise helps you as much as it has helped me in the journey of becoming more of my true self and for you to become more of your true self. So I wish you happy mapping. So as always, feel free to connect with me on Instagram at ms.alicia.ha, or feel free to email me at carbsandmirrors@gmail.com. So let me know what your thoughts are about the exercise today, and just even whether you had an aha moment or not. And so yeah, I would love to know that as well. So let's stay connected and continue the conversation. Until next time, I want you to know that I'm cheering you on because I believe in you. Take care.